Hopefully the presentation is going to come up. I just want to make sure you guys see the presentation when we talk. And there are lots of things, especially the AI-based things that I'm going to show you. So I really want the setup to happen so that when you go back, you will recall. Otherwise, if just I'll talk, you will not remember. Okay, so as much as possible, we can share this presentation later also with you guys. But I think it's better if we are able to see. So looks like we're done, guys. Shrutika? Yes, ma'am. It's done? Okay, so can we unmute ourselves? So which audio is working? That one or this one? No, audio for this, yeah. So, no, but he's saying if that's this, then he's good. But he'll have to admit. Okay, so can we... Okay, I think we can get started. Hello, hello. Are we getting echo now? Perfect? Huh? Okay, can someone confirm from online? No, huh? Okay, can someone confirm from online that they can hear me well? Huh? They are able to hear me. Oh, okay. Okay, everyone. So we'll get started. Okay, so we are about to begin our program. Hello everyone, in room as well as people who have joined us online. We are about to begin our program here. First, we are going to have the garlanding ceremony. Our Gedam sir is garlanding Samrat Ashokji's portrait in the hall here. Mr. Dhole sir is garlanding Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj. Khobragade sir, P.S. Khobragade sir is going to garland Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. And Mishram Kaka sir is garlanding Dr. Ambedkar. And here we are lighting the candle in homage of our forefathers, mothers, foreparents. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And with that initial garlanding ceremony, we will begin. Shubham, we are good on online? People can hear us? Okay, so good afternoon. Welcome, a very warm welcome to all of you here in the hall, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Hall. We are extremely grateful to BANAE, Babasaheb Ambedkar Engineers Association, to collaborate with us with Global Empower Network to have this free workshop arranged on higher studies overseas. And today, as most of you are aware, that it's artificial intelligence is being talked about everywhere. So we can now touch upon that part of AI, as well as we will also talk about some of the success stories that we have in our communities when we talk about foreign education. So we are sharing our presentation both on in the hall as well as online. So hope you follow along. Folks who have tuned in online, if you have any questions, please do put it in the chat window. We have our mentors, Shubham Bankar, who is monitoring our questions. So at the right time, we'll take the Q&A as well. And of course, in the room, we encourage all students to be asking questions. We want this program to be as interactive as possible, and because it's a workshop, and we want to make sure that we listen to you and we answer your questions. So before we get started, I would like to invite our dear friend, Dr. Vinod Durge, who is based out of Nagpur, to give us welcoming remarks and kick off the program. Thank you. Vinod.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Vinod Durge here, and I welcome each one of you to this important session, which is on higher education. This is very important for all of us because when we see Nagpur region, I am born and brought up in Nagpur region in Chandrapur. So there are many people who are talented, but they many times don't have access to knowledge or awareness about higher education, and because of that, many times they are unable to pursue higher education, let it be India or abroad. Okay, so this is an awareness session where you will get to know that what are the different opportunities available which you can pursue and make a great career. And especially in foreign education or in foreign universities, you can get education and make your career. Here I would like to say a few words about the session and the organizers. So we are having Global Empower Network, which is started by Vinaya ma'am and other Gen mentors, and I am associated with them since past 5-6 years, where they have done a phenomenal work in terms of helping people to do higher education, and they also conduct weekly session where they address the questions faced by students, right from doing the preparation for GRE, taking admission, and after getting admission, when people go to US or other foreign countries, whatever issues they face while living there, so they try to help them. So this is Global Empower Network. Then we have our very own BANAE, where we are sitting here. So since many years, BANAE has been instrumental in a lot of social activities, and education is one of the most important ones. So when I was doing engineering, like I also attended BANAE session where they told us about higher education, like say MTech, MBA, GATE, CAT kind of exam. So I also got benefited from that, and later on I also did GATE and CAT and MBA. Now, so it's really nice that BANAE has organized this session on higher education. So now moving on. So I would like to speak a bit about our speaker today. So that is Ms. Vinaya Shamke. So she is from Nagpur, and she did BTech from BNIT, and she was among the top ranker at BNIT. After that, she did MBA from IIM Kolkata, which is one of the oldest and top ranking management institute in India. And then she worked with various companies in India for 4 years. And then since past 20 years, she is living in US. And she lives in New York, which is like financial capital of US. Now in terms of higher education also, so US is like most preferred country. And in our session, she will describe more about that. And over past so many years, she worked with many top companies. Like presently, she is working with Citibank. Before that, she worked with many other companies. And since more than 15 years, so she is into education-related social activities, where she is guiding our young students about higher education. And again, so I would like to emphasize that many times, there are many talented people who can do very well, but they lack awareness. So in today's session, you should try to get the best benefit out of that. Ask whatever questions you have, and prepare for your higher education, and make a great career ahead. All the best, and thank you for coming for today's session. I welcome you all.
Thank you so much, Vinod, for that warm and generous introduction. Folks, here what we are presenting are the people who are driving today's workshop. So Vinod already gave my introduction. Just quick introduction about Vinod as well. We actually met in the US, okay, in New York. He was visiting for some time, and whenever folks come to meet me, I typically try to join them for lunch or coffee, and that's how we met. And we came to know that he was super passionate about driving our students' initiatives. So when he had an opportunity to come back to India, he has been driving most of our India chapters. I have lost count how many chapters he started in Chandrapur, and some places I don't even know those places now. Okay, so he has been extremely instrumental in connecting people, connecting students with mentors, and connecting different disciplines and folks like that. So, and we have, in terms of his academic credentials, he's an MBA and PhD from IIM Mumbai. And he's been consultant with IBM, which is a very prestigious corporate firm. And he currently is a partner at Prakriti Ventures. And he's been, of course, our senior mentor of Global Empowerment Network. Shubham, maybe you want to stand up and wave your hand. Okay, so Shubham is our ex-student, Global Empower Network student, and I remember it was maybe 2016 when we first met. It was Dr. Ambedkar's 125th birth anniversary that was being celebrated all over the world. And we with Hemant Sute, most of you are aware of him also. He's also instrumental in guiding our students. Directly, indirectly, he and we kind of collaborated. Ambedkar International Mission collaborated with Social Justice Department to start the residential program, which was a special program in paying tribute to Dr. Ambedkar, and it was a residential program, 3 months residential program that was organized in Nagpur, and Shubham was part of that batch, and he came to US. He absolutely studied when he joined, again similar to one of you guys, right, not knowing much, but he was very determined to go, and he's one of our best mentors, knows in and outs of the scholarship, be it the Government of Maharashtra scholarship and National Overseas Scholarship, because most of our students, come through those. And it's an intricate process, right? It's a super complex process, and we have stumbling blocks, and that's where he's always there. Round the clock, you'll see him on WhatsApp answering questions, students' questions. And lastly, Atul Dhokte. Atul, maybe you want to stand up and wave. Atul is my dear younger cousin as well. And Atul is one person where I can call him in the middle of the night and he will never say no. If I ask him that Atul get up and go and meet, so I will not do it tomorrow, I will do it tonight only. So he's that kind of person. And he also works as a professional at Infosys. And he also has been guiding higher study, for higher studies. And one of the initiatives that we ran long time ago, and it's still going on, is the IMS initiative. IMS gives like 80%, 20% coaching off for our students. He has driven that initiative for many years. So, out of the blue, student even reach out to him today and they say, sir, is the initiative still on? And we still do the due diligence of the students, and students avail of that program. So since then, and we started this program like in 2005, it's still going on. And of course, he remains a very strong mentor for. So I will encourage all of you when the sessions are over. If you have any questions, meet any one of us and connect with us, take our numbers, and happy to answer your questions now. And if you can't, then of course we can be in touch offline also after this program. Okay, so with that, we will just get started. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, I want to draw attention to this slide. It's this very important slide. Okay, I just wanted to tell you what are the US trends. Okay, typically people who are coming, students who are coming to US. Can we go back one slide? Yeah. So at the very top you see China. Okay, and this data is little dated because that COVID time not many students actually went, most of the programs were online. So this is really little dated, but the data has not changed much. So you'll see that the population of India and China is pretty comparable, and I think India has taken over in the recent past, even and now we are first in the population. But see the number of students that go. India is almost half of that. You see, India is almost half of what China students go there. Now let's do analysis of this. Why is this? Our education mostly we do it in English, right? If we go to, these days we start in kindergarten, it's in English. Most of the science, math subjects are taught, science, even social sciences are taught in English. In China, they are taught in Mandarin, okay, or their own languages, okay. So they are not as fluent or as good in both verbal and written communication, okay. So that's one point. Second point is, if we look at the process of getting overseas, which is typically taking the GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, GMAT, these are not very tough exams, okay. If we prepare well, these are aptitude tests, okay. The math part is super aptitude, it's not like stochastic calculus or derivatives, right? It's not that. It's aptitude, reasoning. And the second is GRE. I would say that, comprehension can be little difficult, but otherwise English, grammar, you just need to brush up, and you can qualify. So the test, compared to the test which we take for, say, CAT or GATE, those are relatively, because I have seen both, I can tell you that CAT is super complex then, or I would say the complexity is similar, but the time given is very short compared to GRE or GMAT, right? So it makes it harder. So that means the studies abroad, competitive exams are also not a reason. Then what could be the reason? So first reason tells us that we don't lack in aptitude, we are getting English education, it's just that awareness, okay? It's just that people are not aware there are opportunities. And let me tell you my own experience when I was studying, as Vinod told us, fortunately I was one of the top rank holders. But even that point of time I went, when we were engineering second year, our students who had gone to US, they came and they had a session and they told us, GRE is, whatever, 5 lakhs. You need to have a bank balance of whatever to show that time. Okay, this is 25 years ago. And we said, we chickened out. We said, we don't have that much and we are not. And then that was the time when I decided that I wanted to do MBA, which was also not very cheap, by the way. It was 1.5 lakhs then. But then, we at least knew that there is the educational loan that we can seek and all. Here, that time, I'm not sure whether this Government of Maharashtra scholarship or NOSS was there. I think it was there, but we were just not aware. Okay, so had we been aware, we could have gone to masters or PhD then to Harvard or to MIT, to Stanford, whichever universities, right, the top tier universities. But again, lack of awareness. So if I, coming from that background where I went to ANIT, I went to IIM Calcutta, if I'm not aware, I can imagine that people who, from our communities, who come from very humble background, may not even know this avenue. So what we as a community, remember, we have the one best weapon that we have in our hands is education. Because of the history, I may not repeat that, but we know that all our weapons were taken out of our control, right? So the only weapon that we can fight with is education. And which is heartening that we are, our friends in India is emphasizing on education, we from abroad is emphasizing on education. So it is our duty that as and when we come to know about any educational opportunity, we have to share with our family and friends, we have to share with our siblings and broaden the awareness. Once the awareness is there, I'm sure that if that person doesn't come, his younger brother or younger sister will come. If that younger brother or sister doesn't come, maybe their kids will come. Because we are sowing the seeds. And that is important. Okay? But once you know that, then, this is not a tough thing at all. Okay? And we have many success stories to share where, I will share those stories just to get, for you to know that how people have traded their path towards excellence. So just wanted to make sure that our endeavor is that our intake from our side should be as high as possible. And our endeavor is, again, when we compare different geographies, global geographies, US, UK, Canada, Australia, our endeavor is, the toughest is to get to US, right? Because the process is complex. You have to take a lot of tests, you have to do a lot of official transcript. But remember guys, something that you're going to get in a better way is going to be tough. Okay? Not something that comes little easily is a red flag. Okay? We have to think twice. Oh, something that is coming so easily, too good to be true. Too good to be true, right? So I would say that, I'm not saying that all of us have to go to US, but at least we have to try. We should have a plan A as a US, plan B could be Canada, plan C could be UK, plan 4 could be, I'm just making it up, but it can be your individual plan. But always make sure that try to stretch yourself, guys. And I'm so confident of our community can do the wonders. We can do the best, okay? Provided we are willing to try, okay? And from our side, we are there to mentor. So, and we can always guide you how to do certain process, because we have many mentors. Most of the mentors are in US, but now we are a global network. As you can see from our name, we have mentors in UK, mentors in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Middle East, European countries. And we have a network, one is a Google group which has around 5,000 students, 5,000 members. And some of you may be in Telegram group. If you are not, let us know, connect with us, and we are happy to add you. There also we have around 1,500 students, because some students drop off, some students add. So that group is little fluid, I would say. But there are good number of people that typically I wouldn't say that any question would be unanswered. Okay, if you ask. Okay, can we go to the next slide? Okay, so typically, these are the favorite destinations. If you just look at some of the surveys, United States still remains, and this is just a third-party data, right? So this is all over, students from all over. Ultimately, like 42% of the people they prefer US, then UK, Canada. Canada, by the way, is turning. Maybe this is dated 3-4 years ago, but if you can see, Canada is what US was 20 years ago. When I went on H-1B visa, I went as a lateral move, right? I didn't go for studies. Citigroup sponsored me and I went there. So those days, a lot of companies could sponsor you to go and work. Okay, so work visa was a common thing. Gone are the days. Okay, the only way you can enter US is through higher studies. I mean, see, there are some people tell me that smaller companies have gotten H1, they went there. But then I was talking to them and they were like, yeah, we came here, but we're still looking for a client. So it's as good as, you went on our own risk and finding yourself. While when I went, my company supported me, right? They found the client before even I went there, and my client, Citigroup New York, was there. So, so I would say that it's very tough, right? It's very tough going, and higher study is the only option. And some of the other countries also, we have mentors who can guide you for the respective countries. Can you go next? Okay, so we being the foreign students, it is very important for us to observe what is happening in immigration. Okay, so when I say that Canada is now what US was 20 years ago, they are exactly now inviting, they want to grow their economy. So they need people. They need people to take care of their growing population. They need the people for their sustainability projects. They want to, become big, right? They want to grow their economy. So how do they do that? They want to invite foreign workers, right? So you'll see I put Bill Clinton because those were the days when I went, right? It's super easy to go on H1. Then Obama administration was also good. We were hoping that, then Trump came in between and we saw, right? H1 became lottery and pretty sad state of affairs. Some of our friends who are very good, like, one of our friends is a master's from here, then MBA from Urbana-Champaign, working in Citigroup, 3 times got his visa rejected. 3 times. Not got picked up on, in fact, there is another student who was on J1, didn't get picked up, had to come back, right? So we are dependent on this. So I would say that all of you who are aspiring for higher studies, just make sure that you are always aware of what is happening, how's the landscape of immigration changing. So people who came that time and could avail of the good immigration policies got lucky, were fortunate, right? I can count myself. That time we used to say, oh, 6 years for green card. And these days people say, oh, we don't even know what is that number of years for green card, right? So looking back, we know that we were fortunate. And Canada is, Canada watch the immigration policies. They, one time they said all the people who were applied are given here. They just announced. I remember 2 years ago on Valentine's Day, February 15th, I think that's what the announcement is. They said whoever have applied are getting everything. So they can just come to Canada, right? So if you have already taken that step, you get that advantage. Okay, so I would very, very highly encourage you to be abreast with what is happening in the immigration process. Go down. Okay, so we say, okay, what are the typical challenges for our international students? First one is when you go to a foreign country, you are competing not just with Indians. You're competing with all global students, right? Some could be Japanese, Europeans, Africans, Latin Americans, right? So you are competing globally, right? And they might have been taught something better than what, in the same discipline, maybe they were taught something better, right? So you are competing with them. Number two, they have a local know-how, right? They have networks. Their parents will know somebody, professor or whatever, right? Because they have, they went to school there. So they know the teachers, they know the professors. And the third one is we are always dependent on immigration, right? Our clock is ticking, right? Some of you, if you go for the STEM program, you have a 3 years OPT. If you go for a non-STEM program, you have a 1 year OPT, right? So your clock is ticking. You cannot have the luxury. So, an American kid can say, I'm taking a break, going, roaming around the world and coming back, and then, I'll think of pursuing job or pursuing something, opening my own business. You really can't think of that. You can, but you have to make sure that you have all your check boxes done. Okay, so within that, what we're saying is we as your mentor community will always make sure that we're helping you throughout your academic journey. And once you come there, we will also help you for, we do the workshop where we will tell you that, okay, how do you prep? How do you prep for, what are the typical cultural shocks you get when you come from India to foreign countries? How do you prepare for that? Psychologically. How do you prepare physically for the weather changes, right? Weather there is very extreme. If you're coming to the East Coast, like New York, it snows there. And we are not used to, here, even the AC doesn't feel like an AC, right? So it's a different thing, right? So we make sure that students are comfortable, they are told every little thing. And then we also tell them that how should they prepare for the next 2 years if they are coming for masters, next 3 years if you are coming for PhDs. How should you prepare? Day one, you should be preparing your resume. What should you highlight on the resume? You should be looking for your internship. You should be building networks. Because in the foreign countries, it's not very easy game, right? In B schools here, they have a placement week. 100% placement happens in the placement week. Not necessarily there, you'll get that opportunity. Your career fairs, you have to proactively write to companies, proactively meet those guys, and proactively take them for coffee. Sometimes it will click, sometimes it may not click. So you have to do a lot of groundwork, homework, even before the opportunity arises. So that the person knows, oh, this person, reached out to me 6 months ago, now I have an opportunity, let me go back. Right? So it's not that when the opportunity opens up, you go and kind of, tell them and approach them. Let's go down. Okay, so a lot of times students and parents, they ask me that when is the right time to go? Right? A lot of times people will say that, oh, we passed out 5 years ago. Okay, so I'm too old now to be pursuing. Okay, remember in foreign countries there is no age bar. Okay, government of Maharashtra scholarship may have age bar, but in foreign countries there is no bar. Okay, so there is no age bar for the passion you want to pursue. Okay, similarly, people will say, oh, I'm just 9th grade. Is it too early for me to thinking of foreign studies? I would say no. I would encourage all of our families. There are no scholarships for undergrad as of now, but remember, a lot of universities give scholarships. Okay, they will not give you 100% scholarship. Nobody gives for undergrad, but a lot of times we manage because of our partnership with these universities, we manage to get significant number of good scholarships. So just to give you an idea, one of our person's son went to University of Ottawa, very prestigious, sorry, Waterloo, for undergrad in computer science in Canada. He got good amount of scholarship. Another student from Lucknow, our community, got into UMass Amherst, again for computer science, undergrad. He also got a good scholarship, right? So we are saying that early on if you go, then it is very different because you're still fresh out of high school and your mind is much more moldable than if you have gone to college, you've gone out of your home, you already are Indians. It's very difficult to run the norms and different culture for the master students. So I would say, and I can tell you hundreds of examples where undergrad person joined my team and master's program person joined my team. The communication style, the know-how, the carrying themselves in the meetings, totally different. Okay, so some of you I know are aspiring for master's, yes, but if you're younger siblings and anytime if you come to know that people say that, oh, should I go to IITs here, or I think IITs education is equally expensive these days, right? Many lakhs of money you have to spend. So I would highly encourage you to emphasize on that. Okay, so let's go down a little bit. I just wanted to let's go down. Okay, so some of the partnership universities that we have here are these. Okay, so NYU, ASU, Johns Hopkins, and you can see the Stevens, Purdue, Brick Waterloo. So this is just few of them. Okay, so we have a Global Empowerment Network, which is our voluntary effort. But for partnerships, we have our endeavor where we can talk to after the applications are submitted, we can talk to the universities and tell them that this is our students. They will qualify for Government of Maharashtra scholarships and NOSs. So they will at least review your application, because sometimes these universities, their conversion rates are like 1%, right? Like Harvard is 1.5%. So imagine if they are taking 100 students, they are how many? So they may not able to get review, but because of our partnerships, we are able to question them that this person, can you please review and give us a result? Yes or no. Sometimes it could be denial, but at least we are not in a limbo that we have applied and we don't know. Okay, so let's go down. Okay, so these are our students, okay? These are our 10 students who have reached out to us and we helped them get into the admission. So Namanjaya. So now, a couple of things I want to just make sure that how we help our students. How many of you are aware of Government of Maharashtra scholarship? Raise your hands. That's it. These guys here, you are not okay. So Government of Maharashtra scholarship is a scholarship which is run by Social Justice Department, and it is given to SC students, ST students, OBC, and there are some general category numbers as well here. So typically the results of that scholarship comes very late in August, right? And August people are joining almost foreign countries. So if you get a result, then you tell your university, oh, I have gotten the funding now, give me the I-20, then they send the I-20, you get a SAVIS, and then after that you apply for your visa window, right? You have to be awake late night to just see that 1 minute window to just press the button that you get a window, right? It's a challenge. So you're losing 1 to 2 months in that process, right? So what we did is we also have partnership with lenders. What we do is we take the pre-approvals on the basis of which you can tell that at least if scholarship doesn't come, you will back on loan, and you can have the both options ready. You need not take the loan actually if you get a scholarship. So Namanjaya was like that. She got into Harvard. We were able to give her the pre-approval letter, and she could go. Kapil got into so we helped him for the little bit of our career counseling services as well. Pradnya, she couldn't join the JHU, but she got that bit. Her program was a little bit online and offline. First year was online and she didn't want that, but she was a very bright student. She's still a bright student, but because of her own choice that she didn't want to. And Akash is there already in US. He joined NYU. Let's go down. So see, this is the guy I was talking about, the undergrad, University of Waterloo, very prestigious rank university. Some people have gone to Australia as well. Sorry, I think the name is not correct for that guy. It should be by her. Mustafa Muhammad is also there. Surbi Mendem, I must tell you, this girl was very determined. Okay, she had a 3 years degree. Typically, most of the US universities require 12 plus 4. Okay, so she had done her BSc, 3 years BSc. So we told her that we need, MSc first year completed so that it becomes 12 plus 4. And she was like, ma'am, I'll do it. So she got enrolled. Okay. And then she was like, ma'am, I want to apply to the best of the university. And ASU was her dream university. Okay, because of her, whatever her marks, that was the best university she was aiming for, which she was like 200% sure that she will not get. Okay, but then I pushed her to get into to apply, and then she got it. Was super happy, and she's pursuing now. She's in the US second year. Let's go down. Same thing with Ashay Nagdev. When he came to us, he was holding a NJIT admit, which is very lower rank university. And so when I said, okay, let me see your profile and see, so I could see that he could get in mechatronics, robotics in ASU. And he's like, no ma'am, my profile is not so good. I don't know. I was like, application, fee are not there. It's waived off. Just apply. You don't have any harm in applying. He applied, and again he passed out with flying colors. He was super happy. So once in a while he'll write to me long thank you email that thanks for pushing it. Similarly, this girl, St. Louis, is very good university for pursuing MPH, public health. Okay, people who are planning to pursue in public health, you have to make sure that your university is offering you the NACS accredited program. Okay, before coming here, I just met one girl who got into one university and hers is not, and she's self-funding her education. So imagine if you're putting so much of money from your own pocket, and at the end of it, you know that you will not get a job. It's not something that you want to pursue. So I would say, guys, if you have smartphone and internet, we do not have any excuse, guys. Okay, remember, if we have a smartphone and internet connection, we do not have excuse saying we don't know. Period. We have to know. Everything is there on internet. Everything is there. If you don't know, then we mentors are there. You have to find it out. Everything is written there. Okay. It is little cumbersome to go and see, but everything is there, and you have to reach out. Okay. And one thing, as a global Empower network, we want to make sure that we are there to assist you and not there to spoon feed you. Okay. So a lot of times students come to me saying, ma'am, I'm looking for an accommodation. I said, I'll add you. You post your own message so that people can directly. They expect us to talk to the students. No, guys, that's not happening. That is not our objective. Our objective is to empower you to be independent, okay, to be confident. And if you cannot converse in our group, guys, trust me, the word out there is very, very tough. So you have to be confident and let people say anything to you. Just ignore. If they say something bad to you, oh, what kind of stupid question, don't you know this? Yeah, you don't know, and that's the reason asking. There is nothing called a stupid question. There's always awareness that you have to build. So ask. Do what mentors are telling you. Okay? If you have questions, doubt, and not understood, ask again. And that's where our AI thing comes into picture, where we have built an AI bot, where you can ask the same questions over and over again, and it will simplistically, answer you. So let's go down. These are another two students. Go down. Go down. These are some of the places where our folks are working. Go down. Okay, so go down. I want to talk about how do we prepare for foreign studies, right? So there are certain number of things that you have to absolutely know about. What's the time check? Okay. So we have to absolutely know that SOP and LOR are very key. Okay, how many of you have your SOPs ready? Those who are planning to, how many of you are planning to apply to overseas studies? Okay, and how many of you have your SOP ready? LORs ready? Transcript ready? Transcript is ready. Okay, Official transcript ready. Official also? From which agency have you gotten your transcript? For which agency have you gotten your official transcript? Is it WES, EC, Spantran? Okay, that means you don't have the official. Okay, let me explain you what is the official transcript type. So most of the time in India, when we get our transcript, it is 100 from 100% or in the scale of 10. Most of the universities. When you're applying to US or Canada, their GPA scale is 4 out of 4. So there are these independent agencies which universities want your transcript to be converted into their scale. Okay? So what you have to do is they ask you, and these companies are independent agencies like WES, WES, ECE, Spantran. Okay, these are the companies that I'm aware of who are NACS accredited, who will give you the transcript evaluation, and they'll tell you that if you have gotten 8.5 out of 10, they'll convert and they'll say, oh, this is 3.6 out of 4. Okay, so they look at not just your, it's not a simple math, they look at the university you have passed out from, how many students were there. So they have a lot of data, and algorithm is black box, we don't know the algorithm, but all these, so typically the top tier universities like Ivy League or tier 1 universities will ask you for official evaluations. For example, JHU, Johns Hopkins, all the Ivy Leagues, Harvard, everybody, they will ask you for evaluations. NYU will ask for evaluations, okay? So remember that. Go down. Okay, so typically when you are applying for foreign studies, these are the documents you should always keep yourself ready with, okay? SOP, letter of recommendation, passport. Sometimes passport, people are not even, they come to us and then they don't even have passport. But so remember, passport also there's an expedited process, so we tell our students to get in that expedited process where you can apply and within 2 weeks or so you can get your passport. Okay? Otherwise the passport can take 3 to 6 months, what I don't know how long it will take. Test preps. Lot of times when the universities are giving you admissions without any test score, red flag. Okay, a lot of times UK universities are not asking you for any English proficiency test, and there are these 1-year courses. We highly encourage, discourage our students to go for those because you spend your time, money, energy, will not get the return expected. Instead of that, try to take this test, go apply for the better universities, and if you don't get them, as a fallback, of course, put some applications of the UK universities also. I always of the opinion that plan A, plan B, plan C should be there in life. Not everybody can go to Harvard. Right? If that was the case, we would not have any universities, right? But does that mean the other universities are not good? No. You have to make those universities proud by being part of their system and doing something unimaginable so that they will say that, oh, this was our student. And people will recognize that university by your name. Okay, so let's aspire for that kind of goal. And if some of you have work ex, so you can have work ex or related. Okay, go down. Okay, so statement of purpose. Do we have internet Atul here? I wanted to show some chat box also. Can we see some? So our partnership with foreign universities is through our endeavor, Glodemy. In that glodemy.com, if you go, there's a chat box we have added. Okay, so and all the answers we have given in very simple words. So you can just write any simple question. What is the STEM program? And it will give you. What is the official transcript evaluation? It will give you. So and you can go back, ask again, or you can scroll up and see what was the answer that we got. Sometimes if you want a very short answer, you can say, give me in 1 sentence. And you will get the answer. Okay, so we are trying to automate as much as possible so that we can help our students to apply directly. So AI is the name of the game, and we want to make sure that our chat box are able to help you guys. So when we are trying to build your statement of purpose, again there are very standard guidelines that we will tell you. Just make sure guys pay attention to this. It should not be just cookie cutter, one statement of purpose goes to all programs. If you are changing the programs, make sure you are fine tuning it to match to that program. Similarly, letter of recommendations, and I'll let you read this later. Letter of recommendations. A lot of times students get the letters from their professors who have an email address at Gmail or Yahoo.com. No, it won't go. It has to be from domain like .edu. From if they are your professors, if they are your say managers, so they should have it should come from their corporate domain, right? If they are a Citigroup, so at city.com, or if they are like BANAE.edu or whatever, right? So make sure that they are coming from the domain, right domains. Make sure they are dated. A lot of times people don't, because sometimes letter of recommendation is taken 3 months ago and now you are submitting it. Just make sure that the date is there, either old or recent. You can always change the date, edit the date and do that. But make sure the date is there, because again it will be rejected. Let's go down. Letter of recommendation. So with that, I just want to take a pause to see how many of you are targeting for spring 2024. Okay.
Sorry, fall 2024.
Sorry? Fall. Spring, and you are ready with your SOPs and everything? Which year are you? You are working. So you completed your undergrad. What did you graduate in? In 4 years course, right? Okay. So I would say again, let me tell you a little bit about fall, the difference between fall and spring session. If you come for the spring session, we start typically Jan to December. It's difficult to get in between because your 1 year, the middle point of your 1 year comes in summer, and a lot of times you have your schools and you don't get time off that you can do a very good duration internships, right? So most of the time we encourage our students to go for fall session, because fall starts August to then it ends in May, and June, July, August you can do internship, which becomes a very strong credential on your resume, right? So that you can, when you apply to the companies, you can say that's my latest work experience, right, of having the internship. So I would say make sure, unless you have tried many times and you have deferred it many times, and if that deferral is going to expire in that spring and you won't again, otherwise again you will have to apply. In that situation I would say that okay, then still go, don't lose that opportunity, but as much as possible try for the fall, because of the benefits. With that, let me take a pause to see that any questions on so far what I've covered. And guys, be interactive. So you have thought of the programs you want to apply? Information technology, masters or masters. Countries you have identified? UK. Why UK? Because no test? Then? Sorry? GMAT? So GMAT is, no, so you wanted to take GMAT. No, but that has nothing to do with UK. Okay guys, let me clarify. Again, guys, read a lot. Okay, GMAT is for MBA. Okay, so if you are saying you are going for masters in information technology, you don't need GMAT. Master in finance. Okay. Then in that case, again, if you are doing masters in finance, you need GRE. But if you want MBA, you need MBA in finance, then you need GMAT. Okay. By the way, I don't think UK requires GMAT. Okay, it's the US that requires GMAT, and for the B school. Okay, for the B school program. So guys, I would say that prep yourself up for, just like in India we have GATE and CAT. You can't take GATE for B schools or CAT for IITs, right? It's like that. So just make sure, again, be active in our groups, ask questions to our mentors on Saturday calls, and see if you can get your answer, questions answered. Okay, so how many, just once again, how many of you have completed your studies and are looking to apply? Oh, all of you have. And how many of you who have raised your hands have work you are still working? Okay, and how many of you are going to apply for the scholarship? Okay, great. So I would say all of you should target definitely Next, I think National Overseas Scholarship is also going to come in November. No, it's March directly. Feb. No, but deadline is March 31st last year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so the ad comes. So it's once in a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so once in a year. So see, anyways, guys, you are going to miss your spring. Spring sessions typically start. So all of you who raised your hands just now should try for fall 2024. Okay, make sure where you want to go. Again, guys, I will say, give your best. Don't take a shortcut. Now you will have to pay a little bit of extra efforts, but trust me, guys. Trust me, there is no shortcut in life. Okay, because we are so used to seeing TikTok videos which are 10 seconds, not more than that. Don't get into the habit of having everything fast, guys. Babies are not born in 1 month. What will happen if babies are born in 1 month? It takes 9 months for a healthy baby to come out. Right? Can we say, oh, we'll expedite that? No. Some things take time. Prepare. Be knowledgeable. Be confident that you are going to be aspiring for something that you know the best. At least we know that we have gotten one life, and try the best thing that you know. In whichever field you are pursuing. Whatever you think is the best, you know the best, try for that. Okay? Never ever keep the aim low, saying that, I don't know, I'll get it or not. Let them decide. You are not deciding that you are not going there. Let them say no. You give your best foot forward and see what happens. Okay? Because we have seen many wonders happen. So I'm confident that all of you are super smart. It's just that requires a lot of determination, lot of persistence. Jalapun chikati mantu no Marathi. We need that. You have to be very focused on your aim, what you want to do in life. And you know, it will happen. Yeah, question? Yeah.
One of our sources have told us that we don't need scholarship for MPH. So I don't exactly know that the whatever source I'm getting, is it true or false?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. We can check. The 3 students that no, but Namaja is MPH. I just showed you.
There were a number of students from doing masters.
No, they were not on scholarship. They took loan. Some of the students that I showed, like yeah, they all went on our partner loan. So they took. Okay, so the loan, I wanted to make sure, in India when you get a loan, a lot of times you have to have collateral. Collateral means you have to keep something as a collateral, right? Mortgage, right? Not necessarily a mortgage, any kind of collateral. Mortgage is one type of collateral. It could be insurance policies, it could be your fixed deposit, it could be anything. Okay? But you need to show you need to pledge your assets as a mortgage, as a collateral, right? In foreign countries, the partnership, especially that we have for US universities, are absolutely collateral free and co-signing free. So in the US, if you directly go for and apply to loan, they will say, oh, you need a co-signee who's a green card holder or a citizen. So imagine if you have your close relatives, they might become your co-signee, but mentors are not going to, right? Because if mentor becomes for one student, then 10 students will say, oh, just become good at that. And that's not possible, guys, okay? So we have to make sure that what is realistic in. So one of the lenders we have partnered with, so Namanja actually, and that Nimisha also took the loan from them. And you know, the process was very simple. 48 hours, you get a pre-approval on the basis of which you can apply to I-20. So I definitely tell people that while you wait for the scholarship, start your process through these guys, right? Get the pre-approval. So MPH, I don't think that's the right information, because Namanja just went, she's already in US.
One of our students got selected this year for MPH.
MPH also? Yeah, Namanja, exactly. Yeah.
Question is that we have these scholarships like national overseas scholarships and state scholarships. So these national NOS or M1, are they offering scholarship for this course? MPH?
That's what I told you, the example of Namanja Kobrade.
For which country they are?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, so the scholarship is not for the country. It is for the QS ranked universities. As long as your university is ranked in the QS, so they are going to say, okay, these are my 50 students who have applied, I have 10 scholarships to give. Who has gotten into the topmost university? Boom, he gets the first scholarship. Who is the second top? Doesn't matter. And then of course there are,
As for the QS.
yeah, and there's a quota for different disciplines. So I think MPH is definitely there because Namanja went. I think a few years ago, you were right that some disciplines were not there, like law, and then we kind of lobbied to say, okay, some of our law students also want to go, so law got added. Like that, some disciplines were missing. But I think within arts and some generic engineering and all, most of the subjects are getting covered. I haven't heard that lately, the students saying that our discipline is not there. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
I want to ask this regarding this
Are our students on the forward on the?
Yeah.
They are able to hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I want to ask regarding this batch, like 24th January, this typical January, the IITians JEE is going to be conducted.
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
JEE is conducted in January now. This the batch which is 24th, 23,
JEE?
25 JEE.
Uh-huh.
So the SAT students, when should they should apply for, because they want to have some sort of alternative, maybe plan A, plan B.
Oh yes, yes.
So when the student should be guided, yeah, you are ready now and you should go in fall or whatever, whichever way is.
Very good question. So he's talking about the question. Okay, let me repeat the question for those who didn't hear well. The question is for the undergrad. Okay, people who are seeking to go for their undergrad studies to IITs or so. So I would say that once you have completed your 11th grade, marks are out, you can start applying to US universities. Okay, because all the US universities, when students enter, even local students, right? My nephew is there who I studied in, say, University of Austin, Texas. So they typically, when they get into the 12th grade, they start applying. On the basis of the marks you have taken, you have up to 11th grade. And of course, you get a conditional admit saying that in 12th grade you have to, basic minimum, you have to score, which is not a criteria. But the evaluations happen on the basis of your 11th grades. And during that time, during that summer, students start to take SAT or ACT. There are two exams for undergrad, SAT and ACT.
SAT.
Yeah, SAT and ACT. So there's a small nuances between the two. SAT is more math focused. Those people who are good in math should take SAT, and people who are good in English comprehension should say ACT. Okay. ACT, typically you get the grades out of 36. You can get 36 out of 36, 35 out of 36. That's the max score. And SAT is 1600 is the max score. So they are both the exams. So student can take that summer, 11th summer.
What's the cutoff for 1600 roughly to get an?
No, so again, it's like a question like JEE, right? What is the cutoff to get? So, I mean, there are some people who will even score 1600, very rare, but 1600 is a score you can consider. 1580s, 1490 is also good if you really are targeting 1480, 1490 is also good. Aspire for the best score, 1500 and above are almost always good. Yeah.
SAT. But does they get scholarships during the SAT?
So again, there are no scholarships from government of India that we are aware of undergrad, but the universities do give scholarships to international students, and we have managed to get good scholarship, like $10,000 per year. It's a good amount, right? If the total fees are 30K, if you get 10K, right, 20K, at least 1/3 you've gotten as a scholarship. So I think that's the kind of scholarships we have gotten for the undergrad students. And universities are a little flexible.
This you're talking about Ivy League, or you're talking about normal $40,000?
No, so I'm talking on an average. If you go for Ivy Leagues, it could go up to 50, 60,
exactly.
50, 60 also. Ivy Leagues, yeah. So on an average, like University of Waterloo, right? It was a Canadian university, so if you convert it to US dollars, it will come up to that. But I would say that it's a different ball game if you are from a well-off family or you have the ability to raise loans. I would say that go for even undergrad because the quality of education is so different.
Is undergrad students are allowed to work for hour basis or something like that? Do we get
Undergrad students are allowed to work,
This
maybe.
course or something like that? Hour basis?
Yeah, but you don't earn really much, and the studies are so hard.
No, it's a legal or illegal. That's the question.
No, so again, it depends from country to country. I think I have not seen many people working. They work during the internship, right? Summer. I've seen they work right from their first year internship. Every year, my
That is paid internship, I know that.
yeah, but otherwise, I mean, how much they will get? They will not going to earn much. So it's not worth it. Means working and compromising on your studies, because if you've gone for studies, might as well do good, concentrate, get good grades. So master students are different, right? They are little senior. They can manage the work and study kind of balance. But we will not encourage our undergrad students to go for any part-time work. Yeah.
What are the entrance exams to get into top tier universities in UK?
Top tier universities, I don't think top tier universities really require in UK require any test. But again, you have to see, because every university have their own thing, right? That's what foreign studies is so difficult, and we say it's intricate because every university will say, and within that also universities say for these programs we need GRE, for these programs we don't need. Right? Typically STEM programs they will ask for GRE, for the non-STEM program they can say, oh, we are really not, because it's very difficult for them to get. But UK, I don't think, maybe guys, you tell me, Shubham, UK have
Not
entrance test?
particularly.
Yeah.
They go with IELTS.
Yeah, but
Even IELTS, sometimes people have told me that even IELTS is not required
Yeah,
for.
they should just made up instruction in that world.
Yeah, they have this concept of if you have the certificate, yeah, medium of instruction as English, on the basis of that they do go. But I would highly encourage you guys that if you are planning to go to UK, by all means go. I wish you all the best. Talk to the mentors. Talk to the mentors who've gone there, who have come back, what were their experiences. One experience I had was really bad. This guy went there, spent a lot of money, and really his course was not recognizable in India. So it was really harsh, and the immigration was not supporting. So unlike that, at least US universities, even if you come back, people, they are recognized here, and the courses are 2 years courses, they are also recognized. So just make sure you are making, because you are investing huge money, guys. It's not a 5 rupees thing or 5,000 rupees thing, right? It's a huge money. So make a wise decision, that's all. Yeah.
Ma'am, my question is regarding recommendation letters. So, for example, if I have passed out from 22 batch and the month was August maybe, and I have letters which have a date of maybe September, October, because that's the time when professors recognize us, and if we are alumni, they won't give us recommendation letter which have the dates. So if we are applying for 24 and the dates are from 22, so is it a problem?
I have not seen that problem, frankly. We've applied to many universities. It should be dated. All they say is dated. But if you are able to justify that you studied then and you got, and for the 2 years you've been applying, there should not be a problem.
You are dated and diaried also something like that. Because diary only होना चाहिए something. So people will teach a data.
No, I didn't follow.
Dated also and diaried also somewhere.
Record
number,
liter number, reference number in the college.
Is it this? I heard something like that.
No. So, see, all they look at, guys, is, because most of the time when you apply to the university, they ask you to give the information of the recommender, right? And the auto-generated email goes to the recommender, right? So what you provide there is typically their name, their designation, their blah, 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 whatever, right? And then they write. So all what they do is they just copy paste whatever, right? But it comes as a recommendation submitted now. Okay, so most of the times it happens like that, where they are, they are okay with the PDF of it. I would say that it should not be a problem. Should not be a problem. And if you are confident that we can you can save it as current date and send it. That should not be a problem. I don't think they look at that issue so keenly. Okay. Maybe I will say that we'll switch on to the next phase in our seminar, and I would like to invite Shubham to share his experiences. Shubham, please, you are our connoisseur on scholarships. You have first-hand experience. By the way, guys, I did not study in any of the foreign universities, right? So whenever students start asking me questions, I'm like old timer. Ask people who just recently graduated. They are the best ones to share their experiences. So over to you, Shubham. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinaya. Is this working? Yeah. Jeffrey, ma'am, hello. Jeffrey, ma'am, hello. Thank you for coming here. My name is Shubham Bandar. I went to US in 2016. Before I start my introduction, allow me to first appreciate some of the mentors that I'm seeing here, which helped me because back in 7 8 years ago, I used to be one of you guys sitting in this particular hall because I think first time, even though Vinaya said like I met her in US in 16, but though I had met her, I think in 2016 or 17 in this particular hall. So I remember meeting her. There were it was under the banner of AIM, I guess, back then. But still, I met you. Atul sir was there. I think Roshan sir. I don't know if I had seen you there, but still, I really appreciate and thank you for mentoring me so that I had achieved so many things so far, which I'm going to further mention in my talk right now. So I started my journey in 2016. I graduated from Raisoni College here in Nagpur. Yeah, allow some few minutes, I guess. Is it better? I guess, yeah. So like I said, I started my journey in 2016. I graduated from Raisoni College here in Nagpur in mechanical engineering degree. Back then, I didn't know about GRE at all. I started since my parents were so involved in community work. I started going to this different meetings, to meeting different people in VRR. Through that connections, I got to know Vinaya and other folks, and I started knowing about GRE and other stuff. It was very important. It was very important for me to know like what is the process. Vinaya mentioned a lot of things in our PPT, but I will try to mention things of my own journey where you can relate like how this process is going to happen and how you are going to relate to it. I started my preparation in 16. I prepped for GRE and I prepped for TOEFL. IELTS wasn't that popular back then, and majority of US universities wasn't asking for IELTS, I guess. I started prepping for it. I started my preparation around in 16, I think summer 16. It took me like 7 to 8 months to prep for GRE, and then I took my GRE exam. I got a decent score around 305. Then I took TOEFL. I got around 90 in the TOEFL. Wasn't that great. But since I started looking for the universities and its specifications, I was in the realm of the score ranges there. Usually, it's not like your sir was asking for SAT. It's not really the top scores that they ask for. It's the range that you should be in the certain range, and overall academics and all your personality and your profile, whatever you have academically, or whatever other than the academics that you have, that also matters. So I completed those my entrance exams in 17. Fortunately, I also come to know about the government of India. that have the scholarship opportunities for our students. Now they have added a lot more categories into it. I then applied to National Overseas Scholarship. I am an awardee of National Overseas Scholarship, which is sponsored by Central Government of India. I applied to the scholarship, and fortunately, in the first time, I got selected based on my QS ranking. So when I applied to the bunch of the universities, I got admitted to the mainly one which I really liked. Since I come from mechanical engineering, I really wanted to do something in renewable sector. So I got an admit in energy engineering degree, which has a concentration in solar energy. So basically, I got admitted to that school, and then I submitted that university to the National Overseas Scholarship body, and they fortunately I got selected, and it was a very big achievement for me because I didn't realize I would be going to the US. I had waited like almost a year to go through it, but then uh, since scholarship body wasn't that fast enough to do all the processes, I had to wait one more year to defer the whole process. And in 2018, I went to the US to join my school, which is University of Massachusetts, that is in Lowell, closer to Boston, um, to do my master's degree. So basically, I completed that 2 years of degree. Um, Little closer. People are having issues. Yeah, they are having issues from like, yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, so I completed my degree. So completing my degree was a very outward experience for me because it's not just doing an academic. It's not compared to the masters here. What I have noticed, to be honest with you, you might not like it, but compared to what I studied undergrad here, my masters was like 4,000%, 5,000% academically intensive. There was a lot of work, we were doing a lot of projects, there were a lot of interactive sessions. The university not only teaches you only the bookish knowledge or the academic thing, it also teaches you about your mental health. It also teaches you like how to work on your resume. They hold resume workshops. They allow you to work on campus. On campus, all the majority of the students are only working. They don't hire outside people. So you get to interact with the local people, international people all over the world, right? So that adds up to your profile, and then you start working, you start building connections, and then based on that, you create a profile, you start working on your academic stuff simultaneously, and as you progress ahead, you have your papers ready and things like that, and you learn, you build up a profile. So that is one of the outputs that I really like to emphasize on, because it's not just a degree which will get you something. It builds you in and out personality wise also. So that is the one of the key element of what I learned from my experience. So in 20 when the corona started, I graduated in the month when the corona started. So it was for the rest of all, it was very difficult. Everybody was going through a very tough time. But fortunately, since I did my degree in renewable energy, my sector wasn't affected at all, and I landed a job through the LinkedIn. The company started reaching out to you guys. That's how it works, because there is no like career fairs or things like that happening in USA. So basically, you just create your profile online, you reach out to the people, you talk to the people, you start going to the seminars and start connecting with the people, and vice versa, they start responding back to you. In that way, I landed my job there. I am kind of working for the same company right now, but I was working for a Boston solar company that is in Boston as a solar design engineer. And since then, I have been in touch with them. Unfortunately, due to some visa issues, since scholarship bodies have their own regulations, since I went on J1 visa, there are two visas basically. If you go to United States, like one is J1 and another one is F1. Central government had they still have the requirement of going on J1, like you cannot go on F1 visa. So I went on J1 visa. Due to that requirement, visa couldn't work out. There were multiple issues happening. But fortunately, my company was really keen to help me since I was the only foreigner in that company. Like I was fortunate enough that almost 99% of my company was American, and due to my performance and my connectivity with them, they started helping me out. I came back in 21 in India, and I registered my own company. I have an engineering consultancy company of my own in India. I have a couple interns working for me, and currently I am in tie-up with them. So basically, I still work for the US. Next year, I'm planning to go back to the States. So in that way, the whole process just empowers you. Like Vinaya mentioned multiple times, it's not just a process that you do. It what makes you to achieve certain things in your life. Doesn't matter what kind of inflation happens in US or in India. Doesn't matter what the current government is doing here in India. If the whole experience teaches you certain things, doesn't matter what's happening, you can still grow and you can still make something out of you. I don't wanna mention a lot of things about the journey, but if you guys have any particular questions about like scholarships, I have been constantly working alongside with Vinay and some of the other mentors to help a lot of our students to go abroad, almost everywhere. We kind of emphasis on going to the States, United States, because we like the program of 2 years. Because the whole 2 years journey is not, people think like 2 years is a lot of time, but it's not. Like one semester, when you go there, the one semester is like you just get to know things. You just start, creating certain profiles, get to know people, you start building friends. The one semester is gone. Second semester, you get to know like, okay, I want to do internship here, I want to do internship there. Then you start working on your resume, LinkedIn and other things. You start reaching out to the companies. Second semester is gone. So basically, 1 year program is not something I recommend to a lot of our students, but definitely 2 years program gives you a time to deal with a lot of other things. Again, think it this way, it's not the academic life that you wanna see. You also wanna gain like certain experience abroad, right? So immigration is also one of the big things that you have to consider. Different countries have different immigration rules. In USA, if you go on STEM, you can stay there for 3 years. For UK, I guess they have 2 years rule right now. I'm not 100% sure on that, how long they're gonna keep it. But it's always better to, hear it from someone who has already went to that particular country. If you wanna know like, what are the immigration options are, because studying and coming back, if you don't have a backup option here, you are going to coming back to the square one, right? So you always want to make sure like once you graduate from any foreign universities, you have the option of staying there at least for a couple years. Once you recoup all the money, you have sufficient funds, you can come back, create your own company and whatnot. But again, always have that thought that there are certain opportunities. Canada is currently booming with students because what I think US did in 70s, Canadians are doing it right now. They are just, if anyone who's going to Canada, they have an easy way to get a green card and stay longer. So there are multiple opportunities. Europe has wonderful opportunities as well. Australia, Netherlands is one of the, New Zealand also one of the good country to go in. So there are multiple avenues that people consider. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And we'll be here after this event also. If anybody have any particular questions, I think I sent some of the messages to some of the students and they are here also. So you guys, if you have questions, you can ask right now, or you can meet me after the session. Thank you. Oh, AI link. I think I was supposed to show. Do you have internet connectivity?
Australia, what are the opportunities
In Australia? Uh, Australia has a lot of good opportunities. I don't have a direct data that how many companies are there, but based on what I'm hearing, that I have at least like a dozen of students in Australia. So job wise, I don't think there would be any issue. The QS ranking, the schools are very high, has a very high QS ranking. There are a lot of good schools are there. Job opportunities are a lot more there. So depending on what trend you are picking up, I think job shouldn't be an issue.
How is QS ranking is being done? What exactly is QS ranking?
So QS ranking is an international institute platform. They rank all universities all over the world based on they have a certain criteria like what is the academic life is there, what are the different courses are there, what is the infrastructure of the universities, like how big is the campus, what is the diversity of the campus, you know, how many international students are there. So based on that QS ranking are made.
Under that, today, can you leave the country where the distribution are there? Not certain, not at all.
So based on based on I think my previous knowledge, I think European countries.
Ireland, how's Ireland?
We have one student in Ireland, so Ireland is definitely is a good chance. The good thing with European countries is like since they have a tie-up between each other, between I think 26 to 27, you know, countries are there, and they have a tie-up. So even if you do a degree in Ireland, you can still go to Poland, you can still go to Paris, you can still go to different places to travel and work and do different trainings.
Language barrier?
If you go in an international based company, language barrier shouldn't be an issue. Plus, if you anyways going to the Europe, you should definitely considering like basic languages anyways. Like people go there, they learn like French, they learn German. You know, these are some of the basic things that you have to do.
Any idea about South Korea?
No.
I would take German, not
So much knowledge.
Why Japan is what?
Not favorite.
English and Japanese are used, right? Japan
So-
is not to divide among us.
I don't think it's.
Why you are not encouraging?
No, we encourage people to go in top schools. That regardless of the place. If the Japan has like school in top 10, top 15, we definitely recommend you. We are going to assist you in the process. So Japan. So one more thing. Other than the government scholarship, Japan. I think Japan embassy released one of the notifications. I think 1 or 2 years back. So Japan embassy is also sponsoring the Indian students since they have lack of youth and they have a lot of like Japanese Indian types with for the big international companies. They want Indian people working, right? So they created one notification. There was this scheme. I don't know if it still exists. Yeah. So there are opportunities.
Conduct courses or any of the
Do I conduct?
in the sense teaching in those
No. So I work. So I have interns here, right? I'm working. I have my company here, so I have interns working in daytime. I work at the US time. I don't get time to teach it, but I mentor students. Like if one of the students come to me, like how I'm going to do this XYZ process, I can guide them, right? So when you should start for SAT, when you should start for GRE or GMAT, TOEFL, IELTS, when you should, timeline is important. People just come last minute and they are like, I want to go, that is not happening. Plus, if you are targeting Indian government scholarship, the scholarship are not easy to get. The timeline is different. People wait 6 months. You have to transfer your admission from this year to next year. All of things happen.
does this have any financial
Which one?
guidelines from your side?
Financial.
Charging anything for guidance?
So I think Vinaya should be the better person for that. But I think university themselves charge certain money. University has their fee, so we have to pay for that.
We are talking about
I think Vinay should be the best person to answer that.
Yeah. I'll cover. Okay, guys. So what we are talking about here is right hand side. You see the icon. It's a chat box. Okay. And what I've done is because the students keep asking me same things over and over. These are my answers that I have written. Okay. So anytime you can just go and write very simple question. What is the STEM program? What is official evaluation? What is conditional admit? Right? And you will get very simple answers. So I ask if the internet is good, then it will reply back. They say, write anything. Official, okay, what is official transcript? Oh. Yeah. Exactly. So then, if this any mentor is not replying, you are not dependent. Right? Because this is just information, right? You know, translate, yeah.
How reliable is this?
No?
How reliable is
See, nobody is making it up, so it goes to the public sources. It's like Google or ChatGPT. How many of you have heard of ChatGPT? Yeah. How many of you are actively using ChatGPT? Perfect. Yeah. So basically, all the way AI revolution is happening, most of the APIs are provided by OpenAI, right? So you don't have to again write the entire machine. You don't have to write another ChatGPT, right? But what you can do is you can go through the APIs. I think the connectivity is super slow, so it's not popping up because at my home it pops up like boom, boom, boom.
My mobile is working fine.
Yeah, so looks
Now
like
some internet issues.
yeah. So looks like So what I'm saying is just ask any simple question, and you don't have to be dependent on any mentors. But of course, if there is a specific case, see what we don't have integrated here our partnership universities. That's not. It's phase one. Okay. So but it is still written by me there in very simple language as much as possible, so that you will say that after some information it will say if you have more deeper question then ask. Put the WhatsApp number is there. You can always
Someone
WhatsApp.
needs to register to use this certificate.
Sorry?
Someone needs to register here on this.
No. This is it. So what we are going to do is we are going to automate this further, where we link it to the university programs. So if you say MPH, so you maintain your profile and then you say, okay, what are the top 3 programs that I'm eligible for, it will give you. And then we'll make it automated that it will ask you, do you want to apply? You say yes to work, application is done. So that's in works. But I just use these guys as much as possible to just ask, what are the providers? Can we write what are the official transcript agency providers?
In my phone it's working fine.
Okay, yeah, so, see for example, there are various agencies that provide official transcript services. One common example is NACS, which accredits third-party independent companies that specialize in evaluating and converting transcript to a common scale accepted by universities. Some of these agencies include BEST, World Education Services, I didn't remember the long form, ECE, and SpanTrack. Okay, because I have written these 3, so it has not given any more. I'm sure there are many. These agencies are recognized for their expertise in evaluating and verifying. So if you write it in Google, I'm sure you will get much more. But here it is like much targeted information. If you need further assistance, I recommend reaching out to our portal, right? So leverage these guys. Sometimes you are in a rush, you don't get answers. In that case, yeah. One second. Do we have refreshments ready? Okay, so looks like guys, refreshments are ready. Do we want to take few more questions before we get started, or and then we will get started? So maybe 5:15 we'll take few more questions and.
Madam, which is the places are better from financial angle? Because New York is very costly and California is very costly.
Okay, so the question is what are the cheaper cities? Okay, so it's always you pay more, you get more. High risk, high return, right? So maybe if you want to invest less, then expect the returns also mediocre. Okay, I would say don't think of that, guys. See, in the broader scheme of things, whatever we are spending for studies is nothing. Okay, let me give you my example. I took 1.5 lakhs of loan rupees for my MBA education. I paid it off in 6 months on off my first. I prepaid it. Okay? That was like way before, yeah, 20 years ago, right? Because from preschool, CAT, and Calcutta, you get like very, lucrative jobs, yeah.
My question is, that time it could be 1.5, now it could
Yeah, but now the jobs are also more, no?
finance
Because
could
I have my team in Mumbai, so I know their pay scales.
the finance could have gone up to 50 lakhs. Deposits are there also.
Yeah, 50 lakhs, but 50 lakhs, sir, आता पगार ही है. माझ्या मुलांना आहे, I manage the team in Mumbai and Pune, so I know how much I pay them.
But we take loans or finance, that too, we have to, what do you say, tie up with someone, and then bank guarantees and other thing we have to present also.
No.
Nothing else? Some
So
25 plus.
the foreign country lender is only for masters as of now. Okay, disclaimer. They will not sponsor the undergrad studies. So undergrad studies financing is limited, but I think there are some good companies in India also who are doing financing. But again, guys, sir, the question is, if the loan amount has increased, the fees have increased, your salaries are also have increased.
There could be precise some examples to say top 10 people or top 20 people could fetch a handsome package also.
Okay,
But,
how much we are spending for IIM Calcutta and Ahmedabad?
That is 25 lakhs is the fees.
25 lakhs?
Lakhs.
Okay, the
Per
analyst,
annum,
the
per annum.
analyst I hired in Citigroup Mumbai, I pay him 25 lakhs. The analyst. My VPs are paid 50 lakhs. My SVPs are paid. These are their packages. And I am telling you because these are the packages that I have.
As you set up pyramid, the top people are being paid high. The bottom
हे
line.
टॉप लेवलची नाही आहेत सर. एनएस लोकांना 25,000 आम्ही सिटी ग्रुप मध्ये देतो. VP ला तर असं स्नॅडर्स हां. The MD असतात त्यांना yeah. So the undergrad is called analyst. The graduates are called associates. The associates we pay like 25 lakhs. The VPs we pay 50 lakhs. मग SVPs we pay 86 lakhs. आणि director असेल तर but हे packages आहे. So if you are telling me that we have to hire the MBA student, then everything is commensurate. Nothing is there. You can't have that parity, right? Parity is always going to be there between expenses and revenues. So don't worry. This should be the last concern that you have in your mind. Ki, lot of students come to me, madam, low rate of interest is high. काय फरक पडतो 6 काय 7 काय 8 काय? So that's very marginal. That should be least of your concern. Somebody is helping in the need of your hour should mean much more to you than counting pennies. Don't count pennies, guys, when you are looking at some bigger picture in life. Okay? So sincere feedback here. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention that Shubham mentioned, visa, F1 and J1 visa. J1 visa requires you to come back, but there are some disciplines where you can get back. Okay, so if you have to write to Indian government, you have to write to US government. And in fact, Kapil Wankhede was the one who got that waiver and he could stay back. But unfortunately, when the H1 visa happened, he didn't get it. Yeah, so he got the waiver and he could stay back on J1. So I would say that if there are, let's have the questions. It's already 5:10, 5:12. We'll have a little bit of snacks, and over snacks, reach out to any one of us, and we can talk, eat, everything. Good question. What she is asking is, her institute is NACS accredited. Okay, so what they are saying is, these agencies are not NACS accredited. They are not colleges. They are independent agencies. They are like a rating agencies. Okay, who are rating your credentials, your transcript. But they also are like, there are third parties who will not be NACS accredited. So consider you are applying for JHU. and you go to some ABC, XYZ company in somewhere, right? And they will tell you, they'll take you $100 and they'll say, oh, I'll give you it. But if the JHU doesn't recognize that company as a NACS accredited, you have lost your $100. Ask the chat box. Also go and verify on Google, because all these three agencies are NACS accredited, and there are many other agencies also. But you should always check. So if somebody is telling you, oh, give me whatever, don't fall for that. Check all these things, okay, beforehand. Before you, especially when you're putting money, make sure that you check all the things before giving money. Okay, so shall we, so कसं बाहेर करायचं कसं असतं? And then people can bring down in snacks and sit and eat, or कसं असतं सर इथले आपले बानाईचे पण म्हणजे कोणाला बसून वगैरे खायचं असेल तर चालेल ना हां हां आणि हो रिअली ओके so okay our friends are saying that you can go those who want to have ask the question how about we line up कारण you know it will take time we are not so guys feel free to grab the snacks and come back and then ask questions कशासाठी ओके ट्रान्सक्रिप्ट गुड क्वेश्चन ट्रान्सक्रिप्टसाठी खर्च किती आहे there's just one evaluation सगळे all 8 semesters you have to give typically they range from $150 to $350 आणि मग त्याच्यात तुम्हाला if you want expedited service then they add $250 काही पार्टनर सोबत आपले डिस्काउंट आहे so we can give you discounts also some partners offer us discount no not all most of the tier 1 universities do that like all Ivy Leagues Harvard Canada also good universities in Canada will ask that What's the question? Okay.
IT, so how to proceed? They are doing the transcript university also. So only marking and all that will not work, or
Okay, yeah. The question is, if you are studying in India, how do you approach your own university to ask for transcript? Because most of the time you get marked, right? But guys, go and ask them what is the transcript. Most of the universities are aware of what is the transcript. Okay, so you have to go to that admin department and ask them that we are looking to apply to foreign countries and hence we need transcript from the university. Okay, they will. They may say that they don't know. In that case, just say, you know, go and show them some Google, other examples of other universities. Most of the time, you will see on their website, they will say that official transcript is there and this is how to request. So, most of the time, Indian universities are there. Anna University खूप चांगली आहे सर. त्यांना ते माहीतच असणार. No. So, sir, transcript. Okay, there is unofficial transcript, official transcript. Right? The unofficial transcript is needed everywhere, and everybody knows. All Anna University will definitely know. Okay? And then there are these official, right? Best evaluation. Then you have to pay money and then get it done.
Ma'am, I have one question. Ma'am, with layoffs happening in 2022 and multiple banks collapsing, so what do you think about the job market in future?
Very good question. The question is, with layoffs happening in 2022, madam, let me tell you, I got laid off many times. Multiple times. Okay? And most of the time after my layoff, when my next job I joined, it was double in salary. Okay? So don't worry about the layoffs. US corporate world is firing and hiring. It is bound to be part of our. I remember when I got fired for the first time, I did not speak to anybody. I did not tell my mom. I was in Bombay. I did not tell my mom. I did not even tell to my roommates that I used to live with. We used to share, few of us used to share room in Bombay. I did not tell, and I was the one who we had one bathroom, 3 girls, one bathroom. used to share. I used to be the first one who will go and use the bathroom, and they were like, "Oh, these days you are not going. What happened?" No. I have my sales call, so I go later. You guys go ahead. That time, internet was not so prevalent. We didn't have internet at home, so I used to go to cyber cafes. Okay, to go on to that Naukri.com and whatnot. Okay, and so it was that time. These are the .com bust, right? Everybody lost job, and I thought, because of my lack of performance that I lost job. It is never like that, guys. Layoffs is not because of your performance. It is because they want to cut down the cost. It's a cost reduction initiative. So I would say that be open. I learned my lesson. Be open. Tell people that you are looking for. Employers understand. Tell your situation. So I don't think that the 2022 layoff is any different. We've seen many. So guys, it's economic cycle. Okay, I should have maybe it was a different presentation. Yeah. So if we go to the economic cycle, guys, drops and crests. Okay, life is like that. It's sometimes bed of roses. It's sometimes bed of thorns. Okay, we need to learn. He said, foreign studies will teach you how to find your way through. Right? Like for example, he shared his own example. He could have been discarded. Oh, I have to go back. No, he made his way. He found his company. You would have never thought of forming your own company so easily, which he did, right? Because he had that ways and means. They made it independent. You think independently. Come what may, you should stand on your own, right? So I would say for that reason, definitely go to foreign countries. I remember I got my first H-1B visa in 1999. Okay, those were the days where they used to just go walk into Taj, take any interview, they will give the offer letter. Second day they will say, negotiate and go. In 3 days I had got an H-1B in my offer in US, 1999. You know what? I chickened out. Okay, thinking that I don't want to go blah 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 alone to foreign country. Chickened out. In 2003 I got another opportunity where my boss says, and I want to send some of you to New York and some of you to London. Who wants to go? And just before that, my dad had come back from US because my sister was in US. She was married, and my dad had gone to US for the first time, and he came back, and he says to me, "Beta, just go and see that part of the world." That's the word. Those are his words. Just go and see that part of the world. You may decide whatever after that. You want to stay there, stay. You want to come back, come back. So I decided, I was always my father's daughter. So I have always listened to him. Sometimes, not always, but most of the times. He didn't want me to go to MBA. He wanted me to go to IC Bangalore, but again, because I was getting 5,000 stipend there, versus here I had to pay 1.5 lakhs. Right? So I didn't listen to him then. I decided to go to this school. But this time around, I was like, maybe dad is saying something, how about me? And boss is anyway saying that he wants to send us. That time I decided to go. This is in 2003 and I went. So don't hesitate, guys. Yes, question. With how many years? 20? 13, okay. Okay, you recently come to know about the course? Okay, so the question is, the gentleman has completed his engineering from Pune, works for Accenture, have 13 years of experience, and his question is, he found some online AIML course. How much it is worth to do this course, and then what are the prospects? So are you saying that you want to work overseas on the basis of this course?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so again, with respect to coming, and within that also US, are you thinking of US? US, guys, unless and until you are there, with a proper immigration working status, it's very difficult to get a job. Okay? So maybe you have to find your own company who is willing to sponsor, but or just ask Accenture if they are willing to sponsor you for, B1. Go on B1 first, and then, eventually, slowly tell them, oh, I like this country, how about you sponsor my H1? So after going on B1 there, just try for a H1. Because H1 has become lottery, right? It becomes very difficult. And it's a real lottery. Initially, I thought it was not a real lottery. Big companies, they will just pick, and the small companies, some small companies, they won't. It's not that. Because I gave the example of the Urbana Champagne guy. He's like 2 masters, Urbana Champagne, working for City Group. He hasn't gotten picked up. Okay, he's asking what about European countries. Germany, I've heard that Germany, France, they need the German language, their own language. Yeah, so you have to prep for that. Shubham, are you aware of the opportunities in Europe? Career opportunities, how good, bad?
I mean, I mentioned something there already. The good thing is like they can. Who's asking about the Europe thing? So one of the good things that I mentioned earlier is like they have a tie-up between their own countries, right? So 26, 27 countries are around there. So if you do a degree, like a small degree or whatever, you get like post-academic time, right? After your degree. So you can either find a job the place you studied, or you can just go to the neighboring places. And you get the option of to go like if I'm in US, I can only find a job in US. If you are there in Ireland, you can go to Poland to find a job without any visa restriction. So it multiplies a lot. Your opportunity, you have multiple options, 26, 27 different options to go to. So there are options. If you are asking whether there are job or not, that no one can answer that. If they are very like if you have the proper, if you are in a proper trend, you can definitely find a job. Not an issue. Go ahead.
Actually, I have some doubt regarding the J1 visa. After we get the NOS scholarship, we get the J1 visa. So after we have completed our master, we have to come back to our country to serve my visa. What is the time period that we have to serve in India?
So his question is, if you go on a J1 visa, that is definitely on a central government. If you're getting central government scholarship, you get the J1 visa. And J1 visa has a certain rule, right? So if you go, that only applies to the US particularly. Other countries, it's more flexible, and J1 is only for the US, right? So if you go on a J1 visa, you study for whatever 1.5 to 2 years, and you get all of your academic extensions. OPT, they don't call it OPT, they call it academic training period. So after that, you are bound by the US immigration, that bound by the rule which is called 2 years home residency requirement. So basically, you have to come back to your home country. It is not, you cannot cancel it. You can either transfer it by going for another degree, same on the J1, not on the F1, but you cannot cancel it. You can only get the waiver from the government of India, and that takes a lot of time. So and plus, if you come back to India, you cannot go back again, because if you don't have a legal stay in US, you cannot go back.
If you have illegal stay,
if you illegally stay, then you are done.
So what after we stay in India for 2 years?
Yeah.
Can't we go back again?
No, you come back to the square one. So so when you come back, do you hold a legal visa to go back? No, right? So basically you get 2 years. For example, you are going for a 2 years master's study, right? So you get 2 years. After that, you get academic training, which is after your degree. Let's assume that is for 3 years. Okay? So you have 3 years legal stay once you're done, right? So in those 3 years, either you find a way to get the waiver to cancel that 2 years home residency requirement. If you don't cancel it, after the 3 years, you have to come back. Within that 3 years, you can come back and go. But once that your visa is expired, you cannot do anything. So that is a big caveat in that. But there is a way, definitely. Since I was on a J1 visa, I know there are ways you can figure out. And it is a difficult process. Like it's not like one NOC that you have to get from the government. It's 3 NOCs. One is from the central, one is from the state, and one is from your local passport office. So it's a difficult process. It's a very lengthy process, but I think it's achievable in a way.
Fortunately, we land
Sorry.
job after completing our master's. So, is there chance if the company can provide us with H1B?
So H1B and 2 years home residency requirement is not related. If you don't have a waiver on 2 years home residency requirement, even if you get picked up for H1B, it will be cancelled. So they will give you time to provide a waiver, but you won't have enough time since you are dealing with the process here, which is slow and lengthy, right? So you won't have enough time. So basically, for example, J1 people are currently getting 3 years of extension for their academic training. So you cannot ask for your company to apply for H1B because in the first year you won't have the waiver, right? And waiver you can only apply after your graduation. You cannot apply before. So it's a very time sensitive and a very it's not, you don't get much time. So you have to act very cautiously.
We go through self-funding.
Then you can go on the F1 visa.
So it is
Then-
flexible whichever visa we get.
So in F1 visa, the only good thing is like there is no restriction on you. But again, the taking of H1B, it's still gonna be tricky because it's a lottery system. Some people get selected first year, some people don't even get selected even after 3 trials, right? So you have to find other avenues for that.
So some of the questions have come from this side. One question is, some students, if they are not to want to be going to the very cold weather, what are the options? So US is a place, especially US is a place where you see right from desert to snow to everything, right? So I would say that some of the good universities are in California, Texas, Arizona, on the Florida side also, Atlanta. So these are southern states. Southern states, and you have a good. But okay, let me tell you a little bit of more. How do we prepare for the bad weather, right? It is so. There is one saying where they say there is nothing called as a bad weather. It's how you adjust yourself or dress, right? So I can tell you when I went there, I had taken my bulky leather coat till here, long and loose one from Dharavi. Because Dharavi is very famous for leather,
Which one will not work? You need a tight one.
Exactly, the loose did not work, and my friend, my roommate looked at me and he's like, "Are you going to be?" I went on the weekend. She's like, "Are you going in that jacket to on Monday?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is what I brought from Dharavi." And he said, "No, let me take you to the mall." She got me the nice one, warm enough.
Also, you need a proper
Yeah, so you need earmuffs, you need a scarf, you need gloves, and if you are, you are equipped properly equipped, then I don't think it's a problem. Weather is not a problem because US is not that cold compared to in comparison to Canada. Okay, the second question was legal that if you don't have a legal status, how about going on illegal status? No, guys, we are not talking about that. Just make sure you are going to the foreign countries. We want to make our best of the records. We never want to goof up the legal aspects or tax aspects. Remember that. 2 things. Okay? Never ever let your record malign due to any legal matter or any tax matter. So it's possible that sometimes you don't know these nuances of J1, F1, right? H1, B1. Make sure that you talk to if you are working for your university, talk to your international immigration office, whatever. If you are working for a corporate, talk to your corporate lawyers. Most of the companies will have their corporate legal team. If not, there is, personally I have used Visa Pro. It's visapro.com. Is a third party portal which allows you to explain your case and take an appointment for 1 hour consultation. So consider if you're going through your question, right? You have to explain the situation, and what they do is they review your situation and they assign the best of the lawyer who specializes in that. And then you get 1 hour of consultation. You can ask as many questions as possible. So you get a fairly good idea. So there are the third-party services. We have availed of those during our times when we were processing on GC and whatnot, or whenever you have to travel back, right? So when you want to go to India, do you want to stamp your H1? Do you not want to stamp your H1? Do you want to go on advance parole, or do you want to go on H1? Right? If your GC processing is on, so there are many nuances, right? So you better check that, and you don't want to be getting debarred at airport or while entering US again. So make sure your individual case is very individual. Read a lot of things on nuthi.com and all, a lot of people will tell you. But I would say that definitely try to take the expert advice in such cases, right? We might as well shell out few dollars, but get the better advice and best advice.
And does Glory help us in admission process,
Yeah.
visa, etc.? You are
Yes.
not telling us.
Yeah. So Glory is our endeavor. So when we started Glory, we just want to give background. It was co-founded by us, me and my husband. And most of the people who are working are our own people who are working as a counselors. And for our people, we are giving absolutely free service. For college application, it's absolutely free. For SOPs, because then we'll have to hire whatever consultants who will help you write. And most of them will be from US. No, we can't. So we can't give that like a draft SOP. It's a kind of a breach of, So most of the time, again, you can ask the chat box and you'll get the guidance, right? We gave you the guidance, right? Every individual has to write your profile. If you can ask chat GPT, say write an SOP for me and see the answer. It will politely say that I cannot write, you will have to write, but it will say that, okay, these are the points that you have to include. So yeah, but we help review the language. If there are some shortcomings, we'll tell students, okay, include this. I can give you one example. One of our guys was applied to NYU, okay, but because of a partnership, they liked his amazingly good, nicely written SOP, but it's not very short. What it was lacking is why NYU. Okay, so this guy has written about him, blah blah blah, nicely written, nice English, very humble background. So NYU said, I want to have an interview with this student before that it was given. So I would like to interview this guy. They had an online consultation with him, interview with him, and he said, we understood what your background is and what you want to do in future, but we are not very sure why NYU. So what you have to do is basically go and see that professors who are giving what courses and how you want to learn their courses, or how you've done something basic in the things, right, and related. He revised his SOP, made it like little lengthier to explain that. Within 2 days he got admit, he's there. So those universities are very considerate, right? They understand that some people come from humble background, they may not know everything. So they said, we are still not able to understand why you want us to come to us, and please elaborate. And then it took some time, he refreshed his SOP and then he got that. So wanted to tell you that this was a Shubham's example also, right? They prep you as a they develop your personality more than just giving you bookish knowledge and just the technical knowledge. So learn that part from the foreign countries. Shubham, you had some questions pending?
North American country, football loving country. There is any university or any country looking at or good universities are there? Football loving country, Mexico and all those things.
You want to go there for studies?
I want to know.
Okay, the question is about foreign studies in Mexico and Latin
North
America.
American country, Brazil, Argentina.
You mean South American?
South America.
South American countries. I'm not sure about their immigration policies, and again, you will have to be very, very careful about certain countries, right? Like countries, Brazil, we know the government, right? Democracies and communist countries are very different, right? We want to make sure that we have a basic knowledge. I have not heard of. That's a good question. Let me explore that. maybe their immigration policies don't invite. Yeah.
There's the NGO services.
For what?
NGO services and students who come to like medical, yeah, sports, UX. These are the things which they consider.
Okay, yeah. The question is, okay, let me rephrase the question and you tell me whether the question is adequate. Are you saying if there is a weightage given if you are good in sports?
Very good.
Okay. Okay. So undergrad. Undergrad, typically you apply in the 12th grade, right? So in the US we have this concept of varsity, just like university. So just take out uni and the varsity. So they call it a varsity teams. Okay. So right from 9th grade when you enter high school, every school has a varsity team. Okay. And if you are playing football, soccer, baseball, basketball, hockey, lacrosse, tennis, all these are sports teams. And they are called as, before even varsity, there is called as junior varsity. Okay, so when the students are in 9th grade or 10th grade, they can be part of the junior varsity. If you are excellent in that sport, even in 9th grade, you can apply. You can apply or get qualified for varsity. So varsity is senior. You can say junior and senior, right? So just to give you an example, my son plays tennis and he might get his 9th grade, he might get into varsity because of his thing. But if you are just first, typically you get into junior varsity and then you progress to varsity. And yes, they give a lot of weightage to the sports, to the community service. So typically your application has to be very well-rounded. Your academics matter, your test scores matter, your SOP matters. Within SOP, what you have done matters. Extracurricular things means, like what is your passion apart from your academics? Is it robotics? Is it sports? And the fourth thing is community service. You absolutely have to have the community service done, some hours of community service, right? So make sure that you already get associated to local, in case of say COVID days, right? You can always say that you served at some hospital. Education, our whole community is associated with education, right? You can always say you were part of mentoring, right? And we are. In fact, we do that all the time. Make sure you are able to articulate that in your SOPs. So absolutely, all those things are given tremendous amount of weightage. Oh yeah, that was the question. Okay, the question is on medicine. Okay, we talked about engineering, MBAs and MBA, social sciences. We did not speak about medicine. Medicine is a very critical discipline and heavily regulated discipline, right? Because it deals with life. Life is taken very seriously in foreign countries. So even for the US students, right, who are born and citizens, they after 12 they don't go to medical school. Just like we get into first year of MBBS, it doesn't happen like that. You have to do 3 years of pre-med. This pre-med that you have to do 3 years before you get into the medical school. And after that, you get into the actual medical school, which is 5.5 years plus internship. So typically, medicine is like 10 to 12 years of, investment. From time to, huh? Canada, I don't know much. So let me finish the US part, sir. So what happens? So this is about the US people, right? So if you are in India, you cannot directly apply to US for medicine. So just like engineer could take GRE here and then apply, right, and get there. There is a test called as USMLE, okay, which the doctors have to take to apply for MBBS. The foreign students have to take USMLE. I've forgotten the long form. To get into the medical school. Now USMLE is unlike GRE, cannot be taken in foreign land. You have to be in US to take USMLE. So just to give an example, consider a boy goes as a dependent on a girl, on a spouse visa, and goes in the US. The girl might be working or studying, doesn't matter. So that spouse, the guy, because he's now living in US, can take USMLE. or vice versa, right? The boy is there and girl goes as independent, and if she has done something, then she can take the US MLE. So you have to be on the soil of US to take a US MLE. So it's really tough.
After post-graduation or with the graduation it can be?
US MLE, I think you have to have an MBBS here, and then you have to take, and some professions require licensing also, like law and medicine, both of them, you have to seek licensing after your studies. So for example, for law, what do we call that? For law, what do we call that test? Bar. Yes. You have to take a bar exam to get the licensing, and then you can get. So these two professions are very, very lucrative. Once you complete the studies, then you earn a lot of money. But it's always to your question, sir. More the investment in terms of time, money, effort, the better the returns.
For someone who has studied in, let's say, Philippines or Russia for MBBS, right, and then they are trying to do MD, like masters in their field. So, what is better? I know that the US has been US MD, which is very tough exam. For European countries, there is plan. But how do we guide somebody who is looking for India?
Okay, the question is, some people who would have gone to Russia or some of the European countries for MBBS, finish their MBBS, and if they want to do the MD in US, then what are the avenues? Frankly, I don't know. But I know that there are some students who have gone even China for MBBS, right? Some Asian countries, China and this side of the world, South Asia. I would imagine they would have a similar requirements, if I'm not wrong. They will still have to take USMLE and do that. But let's explore more. I don't want to be giving wrong information. I don't know much about it, but I would imagine that US will typically consider all courses, all outside courses on par.
Difficult also, USMLE is difficult also.
Oh, USMLE is difficult also, yeah. But then again, we have mentors. We have Sheetal Mishram, Dr. Sheetal Mishram, absolutely sweet girl and very, very passionate in guiding our students. She's been guiding, so she maintains her own group because we don't know much, so we are not in a group. But I know that if any of you are looking to, happen to go there and you pursue your MBBS here, definitely do take that route of USMLE and pursue your US education. Sorry? She's in US. She lives in Denver, Colorado, but she's very active and there are some India mentors also in Chandigarh, doctors in Chandigarh. They all form the group and we guide students for medicine. Kolkata, sorry, thanks. Yeah. Shubham, you wanted to take some questions? Any questions for Shubham on scholarship, J1, H1, F1?
But you didn't say one thing regarding the finances. What are the finances? Your company charges. Suppose I want to come as asking you from day one, these are the things I want to do from you.
Okay.
So what are my total expenses?
Okay, so yeah. So we are giving. So typically, what happens when you are applying for want to apply for foreign studies? First thing is your document should be ready. Okay. If you need your help in documentation, typically our mentor, our counselors will be helping you, and we have to pay that. So we will charge whatever is needed for that. But if your documents are ready, then absolutely free, because whatever application fees, waiver certificate, we just transfer that. In fact, we have gotten some extra credits also. So for the good student, we just extend those credits. And absolutely meritorious students will extend those credits. We just extend one credit, one free credit to one person, so that students get those credits. And yes, so otherwise we just give it free, but just yeah, absolutely.
What are the tentative expenses incurred in this?
So tentative expenses apply.
Yeah, whatever you said. For this, what are the expenses? Rough estimate. We have to know. What is it?
Typically,
Budgets I'm asking.
$200 for SOP and LOR writing, right? Because these are our typically people in the US who will review, and we also take those services for our something reviews. So those are absolutely third party, but they are very professional, and ACP will be like very professional editor. So we can engage them.
$200 for this, and
Applications are
tentative. I am asking you, what are the finances
Required-
involved in getting to
Okay.
part of any country?
Okay.
My tentative budget.
Application process is relatively very cheap, right? Maybe $200 here and maybe $350 for that official evaluation.
It has gone to 550.
Yeah. Now, so this will help you with getting that, right? Then do we need, yeah. Then typically what happens, when you get an admit to confirm your admission, because universities don't want to be in situation that, right, people will not answer them, right? So what they do is, they ask you that confirm your admit by paying, say, $500. I have seen only max as $500. Some universities say $300, $500 to confirm, so that your seat is reserved.
Yeah.
Okay. You may decide to consider you get a better university than that university, then you've lost your $500, right? Because those are typically non-refundable. Okay. And then it comes to the actual expenses, which are your tuition. Number one is your tuition fees that you pay to the universities. Number two are your living expenses. So I would say living expenses, because in student life people should share, roommates. Nobody expects you to live in one single apartment, right? So you share the rooms with. So I would say $750 to $1,000 in city like New York City. Jersey City, you should be, and you don't live in Manhattan. If you're going to NY, you don't live in Manhattan ever. You either live in Brooklyn or you live in Jersey City, and these places are well connected, right? Subway like 5 minutes ride, 10 minutes ride. So we tell our students to go in those areas where they're safe. Number one is safety, and they are relatively cheaper. And most of the time you will find that other students are also living there. So students they can share experiences. So that's what we say. So that is another expense. And I think then there are insurance expenses, healthcare insurance you have to buy as a student, which is not much.
Still it's expensive.
Yeah.
But it's just one time.
Yeah.
It goes to roughly 1,500 to 1,200.
So yeah, the living expenses will go to that, and of course tuition depends, right?
What are the charges?
Tuition can go anywhere from $15,000 per month to $60,000 per annum. No, sorry, per annum. $60,000 per annum. Yeah. See, for example, I think for the most expensive Ivy League is, I don't know which one is Brown, or one of the UPay is the most expensive one, 62K.
Ivy Leagues are costly.
Ivy Leagues are costly, and Ivy Leagues not only costly, it's very difficult to get.
Get into Ivy League.
So unless and until you are, I'm not discouraging. We have to try to our Ivy Leagues, but we'll have to make sure that we are realistic also, and try for the best, and prepare also for the best. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions from our online participants?
What are the targets? And another thing, if you didn't have a target, must have immigration also we need a target.
Okay, the question is, if you are 50 plus in age, what are the prospects? Okay, so with regards to studying, sir, there is no age bar. Okay, yeah, you can go to these countries. The other day I was sitting in a consulate function, the lady came to me, she must be in late 50s. I just started socializing with her, what do you do? And she said, I joined university. Okay, so almost nearing 60 lady. Okay, so there is no age bar. So you can go anytime. Of course, our government of Maharashtra scholarship has that 40 years limit, whatever, right? So you will not be able to avail that scholarship. But on your own, you can go anytime. That's number one. And number two is if you want to apply to immigration directly. So US doesn't encourage any immigration policy, right? You have to have a H1, you have to have a B1, then you apply for a GC, like that is the process. in Canada, there's a PR process, okay? And Canada PR process is a pointer-based process. In that, for that process, you have to take IELTS, and that's called a generic IELTS, not general IELTS, not academic IELTS, okay? Because you just apply for PR. And if you go to the Canadian IRCC website, they explain the entire process. And at one point of time, I can give you my Excel sheet. I downloaded that, so you can just punch in every answer, and you will get to know the score. And depending on the score, you will know what are your chances of getting the PR. So I think, and that cutoff also they keep changing. Okay, sometimes if they get a lot of applications, they will just increase the cutoff. If they want more people, then they will reduce the cutoff. So that Canada process is totally dependent on those factors. So age, more the age, lesser the point. The higher the number of education, right? Like you are bachelor's, master's, PhD. He is PhD.
I have fellowship 1 year, also I will get.
Yeah. So you can add that up and your point will increase. If you have relatives there, right, that will increase. So there are a bunch of these questions and then they add up. So you can write to me and I'll just send you that Excel. But you know, I don't know, that might be a dated Excel, so you should always go to the official IRCC. Okay, Canada guys, okay, one more, sir. One more thing. In Canada, you have to be absolutely certain you are talking to the right agency. Okay? Because the agencies that will say that, oh, we will process your PR, they have to officially register on IRCC website that they are authorized. IRCC give them license to process. If they are not licensed, they will charge 50K and your 50K are gone. And then you will just keep going 3 years and you will say that why my PR has not come. Okay, so just make sure, ask them. Do you have the IRCC? Are you listed on their website as authorized? Okay, processing agent. Yeah.
My question is, are there some standard FAQs?
And just let me finish. By the way, I had tried that partnership, so my name went there. Because I could not get, they said I have to withdraw your name. So it's that official. So and they withdrew our agency. Yeah. Oh, looks like guys there is another program at 6. So what, do we have to vacate? 6 p.m. Okay, so guys, how about we vacate the program because I think there's another program scheduled in this evening. I don't want them to be starting late because of us.
So you are operating from US?
There are 15 minutes.
How is your operation?
Okay, so we have our, of course, this company is incorporated in US, and we have our, counselors here. Yeah, absolutely. So we have presence both. Our counselors can talk during daytime here, and our US people can talk during, their office hours, whatever is convenient. So मला वाटतं आपण जाऊया. I think. Thank you so much everyone for making this very interactive. I hope it benefits you, and please do keep in touch with us. We'll be happy to answer any questions. But please, I want to see all of you in the US to be frank with you. Okay.
Very nice.
But if you can't go to any countries, just form up a base, be a mentor after you complete your studies, continue the change of paying back, and that's what we expect of our community. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we make it a more.
You are from medical background, is it? Okay. So what was your bachelor's or master's?
I have completed my nursing, BSc nursing, 4 years from Datta Medical.
Yes,